Today we're talking about why nobody's buying your stuff. And there's two reasons for this. Most of you think it's one reason. A lot of you think it isn't the second reason, but it's almost always the second reason. So what the first reason is you think you have an offer problem. You think that what you are selling is not good enough, and if you just change the headline on your website, everything is magically going to work better, right? Now, as we have discussed in previous videos, you need to be under the assumption, and you need to trust me in the fact that when I tell you, if your offer has a quantifiable promised end result, and if you have a guarantee on it, it will work, right? When you have case studies, you can remove the guarantee. If you have those combinations, it is not an offer problem. It is actually a traffic problem, right? So when you come to the question or you come to the statement, when you say, nobody is buying my stuff, it's correct in a literal sense because there are not enough humans seeing the offer in order to facilitate enough purchases for you to be dopaminergically sustained in the first place. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that your offer's fine. No one fucking knows it exists. There are two subsections of this issue. The first one we're going to talk about is TAM. Now, TAM means total addressable market. Basically, the definition of that is how many humans on the planet would ever purchase this. What is the size of the market, right? So the issue with a lot of people is they spin up an agency and they go, I'm going to sell to e-commerce supplement brands that sell creatine and make $100,000 per month. They're very, very extremely specific because they heard someone on the internet say that you need to niche down, right? The problem with this is that there's like fucking 12 in existence of that. So what that means is there's not enough people on the entire fucking planet to purchase this offer, right? So my notes on this particular thing is, yes, you should niche down, but not for the function of niching down, right? So what people do is they think if you just say a niche, like you have a headline on your website, and you just say a niche, it works better. Like, oh, if I say plumbers instead of local businesses, it's gonna work better. But it's completely fucking wrong. That doesn't work. Because plumbers would only have a significantly higher propensity to purchase if you had case studies and evidence that you've got a return on investment for other plumbers. It doesn't matter whether the fucking headline says plumbers. It's complete nonsense. The function of niching down is for the productization of your service. Let me give you an example. Say you're an advertising agency and you sell to e-commerce brands, but you only want to do it to like, I don't know, food and beverage D2C companies, right? Is there any reason why it wouldn't work for a cosmetic brand? Now, if there is a reason why it will only work for food and beverage companies, that's completely fine. But a lot of you guys, you are advertising it and you're still in what I would describe as your discovery phase. You aren't actually good yet. So you're still practicing and working with a bunch of clients, and you should be working with a vast array of different clients in the beginning because you don't know what you're good at yet. You don't have enough evidence and just raw data points to warrant choosing a specific niche. So you should in fact be a little more broad. Because you don't know if your system only works for this specific subsection of a niche. It's complete nonsense. Now, the next thing is you don't have an offer problem. You have a traffic problem. So this is the thing with traffic, right? Let me give you a quick delineation here. If like 2 or 3 people, let's say, I don't know, you sell like a $3,000 per month service or a $4,000 per month service. If like 2 or 3 people bought it, it works. Like it's not an offer problem, it's a traffic problem. Now, let's say you have like, I don't know, you're on Twitter or you have, I don't know, some Instagram page or email list, whatever. And you spun up your $3,000 per month offer. Let's say it's like 1,000 people. and 3 of them bought it, right? And now what's happening is you keep pushing the same offer to those 1,000 people. 3 bought, but you exhausted the TAM. So, because in this specific instance, your TAM are the humans that you have immediate access to, right? So, how do you solve the TAM problem? You just need more fucking humans, right? Now, there's only 3 ways to do this on the entire planet, and if anybody tells you different, they're wrong. Content marketing, ads, and cold outreach. That's it. So, if you have clients, you don't have an offer problem. You have a traffic problem. And the only 3 things you can do on the entire face of the planet is do more content marketing, more cold outreach, or spend money on ads. That's it. That's all you can do. Now, I want to talk about these real quick. So, if you go spend money on ads, what's going to happen, everyone has a conversion cycle and a sales cycle. So like a sales cycle is when someone engages in a one-on-one conversation with you until the point that they become a client, and put enough people through that, take the average of how long it takes them to convert, that's your sales cycle. A conversion cycle is the moment somebody knows you exist in the first place to the point that they purchase. That's your conversion cycle. So every human on the planet has a conversion cycle, right? A lot of people that we sign at Client Ascension have been watching me for like a year or 2 years. They've been following me on Twitter for 2 years. They bought something from me like 2 years ago. Like it's a very considerable amount of time that conversion cycles exist in the first place. This is also another reason why when people quit so early on, it's actually very incorrect due to the sole purpose that humans just have long conversion cycles. So you quit before people were even allowed to have their conversion cycle elapse in the first place. Therefore, you thought it was a failure and it actually wasn't, right? So what you need to understand is that when you're running ads, you're going to be doing what's called floating capital, right? What does that mean? It means you're paying for the ads the moment they're served, like that instant. However, it might also be that the conversion cycle of the leads you acquire from the ads is like 3 months, right? So do you see the issue this poses? You must pay immediately, but you don't get the return for 3 months. And this is another reason why people are incapable of scaling, because they'll run up some ad campaign or they'll start advertising. And then they'll be like 4 days go by and they're like, this isn't working. And then they turn the shit off. And what they didn't understand is that you had to float capital for a fairly significant amount of time, right? Obviously you can augment this by having setters calling and texting the leads. If you don't have setters, just do it yourself, like grow up. Now, this also is the same thing for content marketing and for cold outreach, except instead of floating capital, you're floating labor. However, labor is the same thing as capital if you're paying somebody to do it, because time is money, right? You only have 2 resources on the planet, time or money. So what happens is, let's say people start doing cold outreach, and then obviously you can buy leads from something like ListKit and send them on something like SmartLead to make the process like roughly 1,000 times faster. But then what you're doing there is just, again, converting time into capital, and then again, the same function as ads, floating capital, right? So it's the same thing. Now the problem is people start doing content marketing, they start doing cold outreach, now they're floating capital and or labor, and they're like, nothing works. And it's that you have not existed long enough to allow the conversion cycles to elapse in the first place. That is the issue. Now, I want to go back to the TAM problem. I want to explain my funnel to you. So we have some low ticket stuff. We have script swipes that lets you purchase our best performing cold email scripts. Then we have Cold Email Mastery. That's a course that teaches you how to do cold email. Then we have Client Ascension. That's a coaching program. Coaching program teaches people how to do everything I was just talking about: content marketing, ads, and cold outreach, and then structure your business in such a fashion to where it actually works and be able to scale it. So that's a high ticket thing. And ListKit, which is you can buy leads for the cold emails in the first place. Now here's the thing. You can purchase any of these and logically proceed to any of the others. right? So this is a flywheel, right? So here's a TAM problem. The only person who will buy ListKit is somebody who sends cold emails. Therefore, ListKit can only market to two people in two different fashions. One, people who are actively sending cold emails. But how do you expand beyond that? Because there's maybe like 100,000 companies on the planet who do it correctly. But I need more than I need millions of people. How do I do that? You have to create more cold emailers. So I'm artificially expanding the TAM. You see what I mean? So what that means is someone can go buy Cold Email Mastery, learn how to send cold emails, and go buy leads from ListKit. Or someone can buy ListKit and be like, I want my cold emails to do better. They can buy Cold Email Mastery. And then they can start getting calls booked from cold email and then realize they have an offer problem and realize they don't know how to hire people or create systems and they don't know how to scale. So then they can logically proceed to client ascension. The people who join client ascension want to do cold email, so they buy ListKit. The people who buy script swipes want to know how to send like a shit ton of cold emails, so they buy ListKit, but then they want to be better, so they buy Cold Email Mastery. And then the same cycle repeats infinitely forever and ever and ever. Now the problem with people who make a course is that they're making a course to make money. The difference between me and all the fucking course gurus is that I'm not making a course to make money. I'm making a course to make TAM. Do you see what I mean by this? So this is the same thing as if, like, say you build an agency and then you make a product around like a biz op, like how to make a 5K a month lead gen agency. There's no that's not a flywheel. That's a fucking like you're making your competitors. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense to do that. There's no long-term economically sustainable function there. It doesn't make any sense. Let me give you, for instance, when I had the first version of Cold Email Mastery that I sold to like 8,000 people, I didn't sell them how to make a cold email lead gen agency and make my competitors. I sold them how to do cold email so that a subsection of the purchasers could sign on as clients to my agency. And then I started replicating the software apps in that course, so now the buyers of the course could also buy my shit instead of other people's shit. So I was vertically integrating, where you could enter in at any point and logically proceed to any of the others. This is how you do this. This is fucking correct. All right, what you need to do is leave a comment on your questions so I can answer them. And then go watch that video and subscribe and hit the bell thing. That'd be awesome. I love you. Goodbye.